Alright, so this is going to be a little program here to guess where a turtle is going to land. The turtle is going to be looking like a mouse arrow, which kind of looks like this that you see up top on my screen. So we're just gonna go through what every command does, and then we're gonna see it in action. So the first thing we have up top here is gonna be the random background color. Now, if you ever have made a painting before, you probably know that you put paint on top of a white canvas, right? A blank canvas. No one wants to do shit on top of a blank canvas and have it look like you just scribbled on top of fucking notebook paper. So we're gonna change the background color here to a random color using RGB, which is 0 to 255. Using this line 3 right here, pen RGB. It's gonna take a random number of red, 50 to 255, random number of green, random number of blue. The speed here means frame rate. Basically, that means it's going to be going at 100% speed. Since some of the things in here change speed, I want to make sure that this is working at 100% speed, quick as possible. The dot here is actually going to be what changes colors. So what we do here is we kind of have a brush, right? Like the turtle, imagine the turtle, right? It's on the ground, but he's got like, paint stuck to his feet, right? So everywhere he goes, he paints over it. Well, we're going to change the color of that paint under his feet using pen RGB, and then we're going to make a dot with a radius of 500 pixels. Now, since this X is only about 320 pixels long, the dot's going to take over the whole screen, and it's going to look like I just covered over the whole screen with a fresh coat of paint. And the speed 100 is also, just a little just in case sort of shit right here. I should probably remove that, but I'm going to keep it there just for now. So the prompt, it's going to be what I want the users to do. In this case, it could be me. I want them to guess where the turtle is going to land. Now this right here, this tells them the parameters they should guess in because not the turtle's not going to go everywhere. It's not going to hit this corner up here because there's text up here. Why would I want them to go up there? Instead, I'm going to make them go anywhere from left to right, but only through these Y dimensions, which means that it only hits this sort of from here to here sort of area. Now this part, 10 to 13, it's gonna be text boxes where people can guess, like what sort of X, what sort of Y they want it to be, what they think it should be. This is gonna be, you'll see that this will be actually in the text box that I'll have to delete just to write stuff in. Now this one right here, a little self-explanatory, marks the starting point and it sets the total speed. So whoever it starts, I believe somewhere in the middle here by like 150 and 220 or something like that, somewhere right here. I'm going to change the pen color, like the paint under his feet, to green. I'm going to make a small dot right there, just so people know where he started. And then I'm going to change the pen color to black, because that's where what the line color is going to be as he moves around. The turtle is going to be moving around roughly 20 times here, as you'll see down here, before he stops. And the speed here is going to be the sort of frame rate again where I slow down the program so people can watch as it moves, right? And the function here, move random, it's going to be like, a function is basically just a placeholder for other commands that you don't want to write out every single time. So the function move random, it moves the total randomly by using this command, move to. Now move to is usually a move to x, y, right? X, y coordinates. Well, I use random numbers here, hence making it a random movement because it moves randomly from anywhere, any x between these two numbers and any random y between these two numbers, right? And I'm gonna be using that here. It's gonna right here count down to 0 from 20 and move randomly each time. So as the variable I is equal to 20, I doesn't mean anything really, it's just a letter. And since I is greater than 0, it's gonna be subtracting. And it's gonna move randomly until it hits 0. And every time it moves, it's gonna make a small dot where it is. Now this testing is actually very important. This test right here. No matter what, wherever this lands, right here, wherever it lands, this is a little like programmer sort of cheat code sort of thing, right? Where no matter where it lands, it's gonna move to. So at the very end of all of this, it's gonna move to this point right here, 150 by 150. That means that I know exactly where it's gonna land every single time, which means that I can use that to guess and check, sort of whether or not the rest of the function works, which I'll mention later. Now down here, we're gonna reset the total speed. Actually, more like the function, the program speed. So I should maybe put function there, program there, my bad. So, go back to speed 100. So the thing about the speed is that since it's frame rate, the whole rest of the program is affected. So if I were to keep it at speed 50, all of this would take a long ass time to load, which nobody wants. So I'm gonna move it back to 100 here. And it's gonna mark the endpoint by using the pen color red. I'm gonna change the paint under the speed to red. Now I'm gonna make a small dot on where he lands. You'll see it later as well. And this hide right here, hides turtle, it's going to remove the arrow look that turtle will have, as you'll see later as well. And, that way they get to see exactly where the turtle ended. Now, down here, by line 42 to 48, it's going to grab the coordinates of the turtle and write them in console. So, right here, it'll make a variable called x location, which will basically be the number that the turtle will land on. So if the turtle lands on, let's say 88 by 129, this right here will be get x. Get x, it'll say, oh, the x the turtle is currently at is 88, and it's gonna put it in as a number, as a definition for this variable x location. And then it's gonna put it in console like the x coordinate was x location, whatever they just got, which would be 88. Saving for the y. Now the console log down here, it's going to tell the user what their guess was, in case they somehow forgot. I don't know how they forget, but in case they forgot, it's going to get text guess x. Now up here, whatever they input for the x box will be the definition of the variable guess x right here, which means that, it'll say your x coordinate guess was, and then it'll look back up and see whatever that input was, that definition, and saving for y. And the last part is the analysis, where basically, if the guess right here is equal to the x location, or where it stopped, then, well, they did it correctly. And speed 1 is just kind of like a little dramatic effect, sort of like waiting, like, pop up. Actually, I can make it 0.1. It'd probably work. I would guess. See if it worked. Actually, hold on. I don't think I can do that. Whatever. Anyways, and if it's not equal to, by the way, x and y both have to equal the guesses, then, they guess wrong. It's basically that simple. So let's check it out here. Run. Check it out. Random colors. Cool, huh? Look. Expand as many times as I want. It's gonna be random color every time. Let's get a nice green here. Here we go. Alright. So right here, guess where the turtle will land. That's this right here. I get to input my x coordinate guess. So let's put in, let's say 225 and y coordinate guess 50. Alright. So as soon as they input the 50 and they press enter, which I will do right now, this is the turtle, by the way. Turtle is gonna mark the starting point, which is right here, and it's gonna start moving around. Alright. So what had happened there is the very last one at the 20th mark, I believe. It stopped somewhere, around here. But since I have this test run right here, it's gonna move to 150, 150 at the very end, which happens to be this point right here. And it's going to treat that as if that's where it stopped, because really that is where it stopped. So they marked the endpoint, and then they checked. They're like, well, it's 150, 150, as you can see here, down here in the bottom console. And then they compare it. X coordinate guess, well, what I put in was 225. And the Y coordinate guess was 50. And well, that doesn't seem like, the same coordinates. So what does it tell me? It tells me I guessed wrong, because I did. But since I know it's going to always end up at 150, 150, I can force a situation where I win. So, let's try it again. Click run, random color, 150, 150. I press enter. It's going to do its thing again. Once again, completely random. As you can see here, looks nothing like what happened last time. And yet, in a little few moments here, it'll end at 150 again. 150, 150. Right here. Yep, same point. And as you can see here in the console, XY, it's 150. And the guesses were 150, 150. Then, well, I must have guessed correctly. And that's basically what I've been doing. aside from talking with fucking girls, that's pretty much it.